I've been staring at our golden Dorado school, or group rather, shoal of the 11th specimen. Trying to see any patterns that have any meaning other than the size, and also trying to sex them, or at least think about sexing them. Those of you who have a good eye, you probably noticed a long time ago that some of our Dorado have a underbite, and some of them have an overbite. Out of the 11, I think 2 or 3 have their jaws of equal length, no over or underbite, including the dominant female, the biggest one. Right there. It does not look like the relative jaw length indicates anything except a natural variation, or perhaps genetically inherited variation in the relative jaw length. The internet also implicates improper temperature or fluctuating temperature during early development that affects the malformation of the jaw bones. Vitamin A deficiency and some other deficiencies can be blamed for difference in the jaw, or deviations in the jaw lengths, or actually rather overall general skeletal deviations. Wow. Alpha female just knocked out quite a few scales. Not quite a few, but maybe a handful of scales out of one of these guys, one of its schoolmates. She really nabbed him. It's not easy to sex Dorado based on the exterior features, on the looks. For the most part, females grow much bigger. They can reach about 60 pounds. It says that the males max out at about 15 pounds. So when they're very mature, it becomes pretty obvious, male versus female. And also the shape of the pelvic fins and the anal fins differs in mature again. I don't know if these guys are mature yet. They're only about, I don't know, 2 years old, 3 years old, 2.5 years old. But the difference in mature Dorado genders is that the males have well-developed hooks on their pelvic fins and on their anal fin. So I've been looking at ours too, and if there are any hooks, like this is the smallest male, he's got a bit of a hook on the 2 pelvic fins. I wouldn't say it's obvious or well developed, so maybe they're not mature yet, or not quite mature yet. I'm also discouraged from trying to assign a concrete species to them, because these were born in captivity, farm raised somewhere in South America. If these were wild caught, maybe it would be warranted or worth it to try to ID them, whether they're Braziliensis or Franciscanus, or those are the main two. There's a few others, which Ilaria and Affinis, which are more rare, and I don't know much about them, how big they grow, if they all grow to the same size or not. Some of them come from particular locations. The vendor was the predatory fins, told me that these came from the border of Argentina and Brazil somewhere, which is the Paraná river basin. Which includes the Uruguay River, the Paraguay River, known places for people to go there and catch the biggest Dorado. And I think the all-time tackle record comes from the Uruguay River on golden Dorado. But anyhow, going back to my point, I don't believe I'll be able to get anywhere by counting scales or doing biometrics on them. They could be hybrids in who knows what generation. Other than the obvious relative differences in the jaw structure, I don't really see any other differences between the 11. They came in 2 batches too from the predatory fins. I think we bought 10 or 12 first, and then another 5 or so. And then we lost overall 4 early on. And thank goodness this 11 strong pack has been stable for the last couple of years, despite constant bickering, as you can see. Just bicker between each other. And yet staying together. Some kind of a love and hate dynamics is going on here. Well, that's just a little bit of something I wanted to talk tonight about. Nothing definitive, just pretty much admitting my inability to make sense of their IDs, species IDs and the gender IDs, other than the size for now. The smallest, as I've said before, the smallest are probably the males, like this guy. And the biggest are the females, like the biggest female right there. But even that is not, I mean, they're too young and too mature to carve this in stone. For the, at least for the ones in between those two sizes, the smallest and the biggest. Those in the middle, I'm not so sure who is who. And again, I cannot, I mean, some of them do have hooks like this one. Some of them don't, like this one. So maybe that's an early indication of a male and female. But right now they're on comparable size. So that would be the only indication to tentatively assign a gender. I guess we'll stop here.